Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another answer to one of the questions that you guys have submitted. So if you have a question, keep on sending them in. We'd love to make more videos about them. But today, we're going to be responding to a question from Liz, and she says, is there really a shortage of good Christian men? Have you ever felt like that, babe?
Yeah.
Where are all the good Christian men? Oh my. She says, most of my friends are married, but I'm hearing from married and single friends that dating is hard now and good men are hard to find. So this is something that I've definitely heard from a lot of my female friends, and this is something that you felt before, right?
Yes, especially when I was in graduate school in California. I was at a school with millions of people. Maybe not
millions of people. That's it.
I feel like it was millions.
She went from dozens all the way to millions. There's no middle ground for all in or nothing.
I mean, there was like a medical school there, a dental school, allied health school.
A large university, Christian university.
Yeah.
And you felt?
And I felt like it was really hard to meet people. We'd gather once a week for community, a worship service, which we all had to attend. And I felt like everyone was kind of in their own little circles and it was hard to get to know people. But I feel like I also didn't put myself out there enough either.
Yeah, so like for me as well, like I've definitely felt that way before. You know, we all talk about the list of qualities that we have, and this was actually what made it hard for me, was I had a list of people, or not a list of people, a list of qualities that I wanted to find in a potential spouse. And when I went down the list and I realized, man, there's no one that exists that matches this perfect description of who I'm looking for. So I definitely know what it's like to wish like, man, I feel like there's no hope. There's no one in my church. There's no one at my school. There's no one at my youth group. Like there's nobody who's out there. But you were saying?
I was saying that probably my first 2 years at that school, I didn't really put myself out there a lot. I just hung out with girlfriends because I'm more comfortable around girls than guys. So I like didn't really get to know other people outside of my little friend group. So it's kind of like my fault. And then my last year at school, my friend convinced me to go to a speed dating event. I'm like, there's no way that I'd ever go to one of these things. And she's like, you should just really go, get out there. And so I went and I met Justin. And so that was one reason I didn't put myself out there a lot.
Yeah, and so this is something that I would say, at least coming from the guy's perspective, this is something that frustrates a lot of us, quote unquote, good Christian guys. Of course, no one's perfect. I'm not claiming to be like the ideal Christian guy by any means. But I know a lot of guys, like our church guys, have some problems and some challenges. It's because, you know, they're trying to reach out to some of the ladies that are out there that are eligible. But what ends up happening is a lot of you girls, you're kind of frustrating you, and because you say on the one hand, oh, there's no good Christian guys, but then when you have that friend that you've grown up with and that person who is one of those good Christian guys, a lot of times you end up friend zoning them, or you end up just like not being even open to the relationship. I cannot tell you how many times that guys that I've spoken with, or even myself, you say, hey, listen, I'm interested. I want to see if there's something that can develop. Would you be open to like going out on a few dates or something? And a lot of times what's frustrating is a lot of women will just simply say no. They're not willing to put themselves out there. And so that's a very frustrating thing for both sides of the equation. And as a guy, I mean, it hurts when you get rejected.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if any of you ladies have actually ever asked a guy out and gotten rejected.
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
It hurts, right?
It hurts.
And it doesn't, like,
yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh, and then the next time you think, like, maybe I should try asking someone else out, like, you remember that previous pain and you're like, yeah, that sucked. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that you need to go out and say yes to everybody. I'm not even trying to imply that it's your lady's fault. Like, that's the reason why there's no good guys. Not at all. But I'm just simply saying, I'm pointing out to the fact that it's actually difficult from the guy's perspective as well to get the courage to ask out another girl, especially after he's been rejected once or twice or, I don't know, 10 times or something along those lines. It really hurts.
It can go both ways with that because I feel like I've been friend zoned by guys as well. Yeah. Like not really knowing their intentions, like him hanging out with me, but then like he doesn't talk to me for like 2 weeks or contacting me and I'm just like, what is going on here? So I feel like it goes both ways.
Yeah, and I think that's very fair. So I guess the point that we want to share that's in common is, you know, for both guys and girls, you need to put yourself out there a little bit more. For guys, like, hey, if you've been rejected, tough luck. I know, it sucks. Lick your wounds. But it was after I got rejected by some girl that I asked out that I actually ended up meeting Emily. So never be afraid to try it again. There's a really great quote, I think it's by like C.S. Lewis, that talks about love is like being vulnerable. And that's so true when you think about Jesus being vulnerable to us and coming down and dying for us with no guarantee that we would accept him. That's really what it takes in order to find love. So for the guys, give it another shot. For the ladies, maybe at least be willing to try and open your mind and see like where it can go. We talked about in a previous video how Emily and I had the lists of qualities that we all wanted and how we were surprised that who God put us into contact with was not the person that we thought that we would be. So be open to that. The second thing that I want to say is no, of course, there is no necessarily like a shortage of good Christian men in that sense. I would point to you the story of Elijah. Remember the story of Elijah when he went through kind of like this depressive state and he was all like he was running away for his life, and then God comes to him and it's like, dude, what's going on? Why are you so discouraged? Why are you so depressed? And one of the things that Elijah said, he's like, I'm the only one left. There's nobody else out there that wants to serve you, God, but me. And then God's like, no. You don't even know. Your eyes are so like focused that you're missing the bigger picture. And God basically says, no, there's like thousands of other people who have not bowed the knee to Baal. And that's what I want to say to you as well in this moment is no, there's not a shortage of guys. Of course, we could always want to like grow that, and we always want to help more people come to know Jesus. But in another sense, there's no shortage of guys. You might just not be keeping your eyes open and realizing where God is trying to lead you. There's a lot of really great guys that are out there that love the Lord, that really want to serve Him wholeheartedly. And we want to encourage you not to give up, not to lower your standard and just settle for someone who isn't a believer or anything else like that and be unequally yoked in that whole challenge. And we really want to just challenge you to trust God. God's got a plan for you. It's going to be okay. And even though it's not always in the timing that we love, He's going to work it out in your favor.
For sure, yeah.
Well, that's it. Again, we'd love to hear from you guys. What encouragement would you share to someone who feels like there are no eligible guys or girls in their country, maybe? And what would you share with them to help them out through that situation? Let us know in the comment section below. But until next time, we're That Christian Vlogger, and we want to encourage you to experience faith in the first person. God bless. Hey guys, before you go, I want to give a huge shout out to ChristianMingle.com for sponsoring this video. They're actually the #1 website for Christian online dating and have been responsible for more Christian couples than any other website out there. So if you are interested in online dating and finding someone special in your life that has similar values, check out the link in the description bar below.